Hey everybody, Dr. Angela here. I hope that everyone is doing well. First, I want to say, I am so sorry that I have been leaving you guys out of the loop, and I apologize about that. So, today we are going to talk about how you can use routine to assist with your mental health. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, I'm Dr. Angela Chester. I am a pastoral counselor and a lot of other things, TV host, radio host, all that other good stuff. But one of the things I really love doing is helping people get where they need to go, be it that you are struggling with life purpose or you're trying to figure out how can I do a little bit more self-care to make sure that I'm not anxious or nervous or any of those other things. Now you guys are going to have to work with me here. I'm not really used to doing Instagram live. So hello to everybody. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Now, routine. I'm going to try to make this short and sweet for you, no more than 15 minutes. I know that a lot of people don't like routine in the first place. They say that I like for things to be a little bit more spontaneous. I want for to be able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I hear you. I'm like that as well. I don't like too much routine. However, for those who are dealing with anxiety, that are dealing with depression, who may be feeling overwhelmed or concerned with a really lengthy to-do list in life, these tips and tricks are going to help you if you are that person, or if you know someone who falls into that category, you can help them. So the one thing that we need to do is understand that routine is not a bad word. The same way that diet and budget aren't bad words, it's how you have been using them in the past. So now I want you to look at routine as a positive thing. If we think about it, we have a lot of routines in our lives. At work, I'm sure there are certain things that are required of you, certain to-dos that you do either at a certain hour, on a certain day, or simply throughout the week. That's a part of your work routine. There's things that we do in our personal lives, right? Take the kids to school, pick up the dry cleaning, get the car detailed. Those are all a part of our routine, even though we may not necessarily think about it. So routine is not a four-letter word, though it's not a four-letter word, but it's not a bad word in this case. So routine is something that we're going to add. So what do we add to that routine? There are 5 things that you can add to your routine to help keep you from feeling overwhelmed, from being anxious, or feeling that you are spinning out of control. Let's look at number 1. Number 1 is plan. Now, if you follow me on Instagram in general, you guys know that I am always posting things that say plan, plan, plan. Get out there and plan your day. Do not allow for something to just come up and send you into a tailspin, even if you're not suffering from anxiety. The less you plan, the more you are susceptible to someone else's plans, someone else's do's and don'ts affecting who you are and what you have to do. So let's try to be in control of the day as much as we possibly can. How do we do that? Plan. Again, it's awesome if you can plan your week so you'll know exactly where you need to be, when you need to be there, and what time you will be doing what you're doing, right? So plan your week, plan your day, and also if there are events that are coming up or presentations that you have to do, plan that out as well. There's nothing like having an itinerary, especially if you have to go out of town or you're presenting on something that this is the first time that you're presenting on this particular thing. So make sure that you are planning. A lot of times people say there needs to be a contingency plan. There needs to be protocols. It doesn't matter what you call it in the industry that you are. It all boils down to it's a plan, right? It's a plan. So make sure that you have the plan that's going to work for you. If there are other people involved in what you have to do, there's nothing like giving them a heads up and saying, listen, Tuesday at 3 o'clock, you need to be at your desk. Friday at 5 o'clock, we're wrapping it up and we're calling it quits. We're not staying here until 7 o'clock. Whatever it is, whatever the plan is, make sure that you have it planned out and you inform those that need to be informed. Number two. Number two is exercise. Now, this is a real big one because most of us, if truth be told, we have not been moving our bodies the way that we are supposed to. We have not been doing that which we needed to do, especially during this pandemic. In fact, we have nibbled more than we should have, or we flat out just, filled our faces with all things that taste good, right? We've probably had too much fried chicken, potato salad, and peach cobbler or pie. We've had ice cream when we haven't had it in years. I understand. Absolutely. Or perhaps your thing is that you don't live in a place where you're able to get out and move like you used to. If you live in a metropolitan place during the pandemic, going outside may have been detrimental to your health. So now that the world is starting to open back up, we are able to really get out there and start going to the parks and stuff again. Do that. Now, I know that for some folks, you live in suburbia, so things haven't changed too much, and at least you were able to get out into your backyard. Congratulations, and that is awesome. I know that I have enjoyed being able to be in my backyard when we weren't supposed to be around each other, and it really changes how you feel and how you are able to interact throughout your day. With that being said, most people know that we are supposed to get in 10,000 steps a day. That is not my rule. That is a suggestion that is put out by our medical health practitioners, i.e. doctors that do this. Now, 10,000 steps a day can sound like a lot of steps if you are not moving your body. I am very big on taking things in bite-sized pieces. I don't think that you should overdo anything when you are first starting off. So what does 10,000 steps look like if you're not familiar? 10,000 steps is moving every hour on the hour. 10,000 steps is parking further away as opposed to right up front. It's easy to get 10,000 steps once you've gotten 10,000 steps. So take it in those bite-sized pieces. If you notice that, especially if you have an iPhone and you click on the little health app, you can see how many steps you are taking on average. If you have an Android, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you to do there. You may have to download an app if your phone doesn't automatically come with one. With that being said, there are a lot of apps out there that will track how many steps you're taking. Again, iPhone, you can go to the health app. It's already there for us, and just keep scrolling down till you see how many steps you've taken. With that being said, if you've noticed that on average, you're only walking 400 steps to 1,000 steps, you're not getting enough steps in per day. It's probably because you have a very sedentary job. You sit at your desk and you make stuff happen from your desk. Nothing wrong with that. That is the majority of the world. So you need to get up and move your body. So for lunchtime, you need to go for a walk. If that simply means walking to your car that's in the garage and walking back to your desk. If that means walking to lunch, especially if you're like in a downtown type setting, walking to go get your lunch as opposed to driving over. It's the small things that we do that make the difference. Here's a challenge, and you can do it in these bite-sized pieces. Again, if you're only walking 500 steps, make your goal to be 1,000 steps. If you're walking 1,000 steps, increase that to 2,000. If you're walking around 4,000 to 5,000 steps, increase your steps by another 2,000 to 3,000 steps. Once you have increased that much, once you get over between 5,000 to 6,000 steps, you'll see how easy it is to simply double what you're doing. You will now find ways to actually get to those 10,000 steps because it's like challenge accepted. Let's admit it. When we're making changes in the beginning, sometimes it can be a little difficult. It can be a little hard, right? Of course it is. I know that even though someone can suggest a really great thing, sometimes it takes a while for us to implement it. So move your body. We have mornings before we go to work. We have lunch, even though majority of people don't do anything but try to eat just because there's not enough time in the day. After you get home from work, after you have dinner, before you go to bed. Now, I do not want you to put yourself in a situation where you are uncomfortable or unsafe, but the suggestion by most MDs, again, is to get those 10,000 steps in a day. If you have a treadmill it. Make it really simple, but it's really awesome if you can get out and get some fresh air while you're doing it. Take the dog out for an additional walk. Don't just take the dog out like to that patch of grass that you've always used. Take them for a walk. It's good for the dog and it's good for you as well. Number three is read. Read. Now, I know we used to, if you are of a certain vintage, we used to hear that reading was fundamental. Reading was fundamental. Remember people saying that? I know that I remember folks saying that. And it was trying to get into our brains how important it was for us to read. Reading does a lot of things for us, but two ways that we can use it, because we're talking about routine and how routine can help with mental health. When we add reading to our routine and we're reading two different books, I know it's like, Dr. Angela, my goodness, I'm not even reading one book and here you are talking about reading two. Let me explain why. When we're reading two books, it allows us to go on two separate and different journeys. Book number one should be a book that is totally and completely for your leisure, for your enjoyment, for your hashtag self-care, right? So if you like sci-fi, if you want to read a romance novel, if you want to read something that is just about the life of a comedian, it doesn't matter as long as it's something fun. If it's a travel book because you have a love affair with travel, whatever it is, make sure you're reading something that's just for you, that is fun. But book number two needs to be something that is going to be a resource to you. It's going to educate you. Now, this could be something, especially if it's dealing with your particular field. I am very big on honing your craft. Make sure you know all about your business. If you don't know anything about your business, you need to definitely make sure you add this to your routine. If you've been doing your particular skill set, you've been in your field for 10, 15 years. That's amazing. Great. Congratulations. But things are ever changing. So you want to make sure that you are reading about the changes that apply to your field. Many of you are in a field like I am, where you're required to make sure that you are taking classes from time to time and you're giving great information. Make sure you keep doing that. But I want you to read a book that is going to require you to really kind of take note and to think outside of your box. Now, many of us live in a metropolitan area and you're stuck in traffic. Go out and sign up for Audible. While you're stuck on the 10, while you're trying not to lose your mind on the 5, you could be listening to an amazing book while you're there. Be it that it's something funny that keeps you in light spirits before you get to work, or you're listening to something that's actually going to edutain you, educate and entertain you at the same time. Didn't make up the word, but I like the word. So you want to make sure that you are reading two different types of books. Number four is meditate and or pray. Meditate and or pray. Now, I happen to be someone who practices the Christian faith, but I realize that not everyone who watches me, not everyone who joins me is a Christian. I deal with a lot of interfaith couples as well, meaning that one person is of a different faith. So I use the words pray and meditate according to your belief system. Now, we know that scripture tells us to meditate on the word day and night, that we should meditate on those things that are of good report. So with that being said, we know that we need to spend time in this contemplative state, in this reflective state. What are you meditating on? What are you trying to visualize in your mind's eye? What are you presenting to God, to help you with? Do you have a praise report? If you have a praise report, then in your meditation time, you need to make sure that you are expressing how grateful and thankful you are. You want to make sure that you are spending time not just on the woe is me or the God, look, I got this problem kind of thing, right? But you also want to spend time saying thank you, God, for helping me with this particular thing. Now, we used to hear about vision boards all the time. Make a vision board and put it up around you. Well, thanks to technology, we can now do vision boards on our phone. We can now have them on our laptop, so on and so forth. But it's all about the visualization. Well, when we're doing or spending time in meditation, it's about the visualization. So what is it that you need to accomplish? What is it that you need to do? Put that thing in your mind's eye. Present that to God and say, Lord, this is what I'm praying for. This is what I'm meditating on right now. You need a new car, a new house. You want to have a child. You want to find a dog. You simply want to move from a 2-bedroom into a 3-bedroom. You want to move from one side of town to the other side. Whatever it is, you're meditating on that thing. You are visualizing that move, and you are taking that petition to God and saying, Lord, this is what I would love to happen. Now, of course, let's remember to allow God to give it to us outside of the box, as big and as grand as God wants to give it to us. So don't limit what God can give to you. Not knocking any particular brand of car, but don't ask for the Prius. Okay? If you really and truly want the Escalade, that's what I'm saying. Like, don't think small. Dream big. Present it big. Don't take the smallest version of who you are to God. Take the biggest version of who you wish to be. And if God so deems it to be true, then that's exactly what will happen. We get that abundance. I don't want you to have a poverty mindset. I want you to have an abundance mindset. And an abundance mindset says that it can be as big and as grand as so sees fit. Alrighty? So number 5 would be a journal. Now, you guys know I'm a pastoral counselor. There's no way that I'm not going to tell you that you need to journal. Journal is so incredibly important, but journaling is also important for various reasons. Journaling is so important for various reasons. With that being said, why is journaling important, Dr. Angela? Glad you asked that question. So journaling allows for us to get out of our heads those things that have been taking up real estate. Now, I firmly believe that junk, trash, garbage, stress, worry should not have real estate. They should not have a corner office, nor should they have any type of acreage in your mental space. They need to be gone. And how do you do that? One way that you can get rid of it is by journaling. When you journal, it gets out of your head onto that piece of paper. There's several different ways that you can journal, but I am very much about what they call the freestyle writing for journaling. This means that it doesn't matter if it's spelled correctly. It doesn't matter if you cross those T's or dot those I's. Who cares? The idea is to get the thought, out of your head and onto paper. Now, I am a proponent of doing it old school, having a paper journal where you're writing it out. There's more of a connection when you handwrite any type of note or any type of document. Now, if that just doesn't fly with you and you're like, Dr. Angela, I hear you and I'm willing to journal, but I need my laptop, then by all means, do it on your phone, do it on your laptop, whatever's going to work for you. But if you can take the time to get that journal and hand write out exactly what it is that you're feeling, what you're thinking, what you need help with, whatever your praise report is, then you will see that there will be a huge difference. You need to write it down and make it plain so that you can run with it, right? So with that being said, how do you do that? Again, freestyle writing. You simply write down whatever it is that you're going through, what you want to accomplish, what you need help with. But you want to make sure that you include the date in which you are writing that particular thing. Why is that important? Because when that thing comes to pass, when you get the answer to that prayer or to that petition that you are making, you want to go back and look for it. So you know that you asked for a particular thing. Dear Lord, I need a new job. September 2021. Well, when you get that new job in that ideal place with all of the criteria that you said were important to you, and let's say it's December, you write down that it's December 2021. You can see how long it took for that thing to happen. Now, there are going to be some things that require you to stand a little bit longer than others. Those of you who follow me and like really have followed my journey, you know that I've told you it was 5 years between my starting my podcast, me praying, Lord, I would love to be on radio, and getting that phone call, Dr. Angela, we would love for you to have your own radio show. That took 5 years. That was a lot of faith. That was a lot of believing. That was a lot of standing. Sometimes, just sometimes, it will require you to really stand in your faith and on faith to make things happen. But they can definitely happen. If it happened for me, it can happen for you as well. So remember, an overnight success usually has taken some years to become that overnight success. It literally was not yesterday they picked up their phone and boom, now they're running an empire. Some time has passed between that. Don't let social media fool you into thinking that it literally happens overnight. It takes time, it takes dedication, it takes perseverance and being consistent, and it can happen for you too. So again, thanks you guys so much for spending time with me here on Instagram. I apologize again that I have not come over and spent some time with you guys because I surely needed to do this. You are so welcome. See, put my glasses on, I can see. You are so welcome, Arise Beauty Detox. Thank you for all of the things that you post on Instagram as well. So really quickly, I'm gonna go over it just in case you came a little bit late. Routine. Adding routine to your day today can help with your mental health. And how does it help? Do at least one of these things. Plan, exercise, read, meditate / pray, and journal. Now, if you want, I would love to hear back from you. Let me know. Go ahead on and tell me how one of these is working out for you. Which one did you decide that you want to do? And which one are you already doing, and how does it help you in your routine? I love it. I love it. I love it. I want to talk to you guys more, and I want for you to be able to talk to me as well. If you used to follow me on Periscope before that went out of business, so to speak, thank you so much for following me here on Instagram. I totally and completely appreciate your doing so. Alrighty, everybody, with that being said, I'm going to try to get out of here. We'll see how you get out. Bye for now.